Parenting can be an ongoing learning experience. It really can be. And have you ever wondered what is your biggest mistake and can you avoid it? Stay with me because we are going to explore this very interesting topic. This is Carmen Roman. I am a clinical psychologist. I have been for 30 years working with families, couples, and individuals. So let's start.
Living in harmony is possible if you know your emotions and how to handle them. I am Dr. Carmen Roman, and I will share with you the current psychology by myself or by interviewing experts who will inspire you. Learn how to live a life of fullness and how to recover your emotional harmony. Welcome to Emotions in Harmony.
Welcome back, my dear listener. If you could be here with me with a beautiful view, I am in the mountains in Jalisco, Mexico. Oh my God, you will be so envious. Yes, we are here with family and vacation, but I just wanted to come and talk to you for a couple minutes. I have been lately wondering about what are the biggest mistakes that we do as parents and what we could do to avoid them. The topic is very simple and something that probably you already know, but stay tuned because what about if you didn't know and you are doing that mistake without even realizing it? The great dilemma of being a parent is that when you want to educate your children, you realize that each other is very different. And we always joke, yeah, children don't come with a manual. Then it is very necessary that you learn to guide your children as they grow. Every child has their own personality and it requires very different aspects of you as a parent. Being a parent is the hardest, never ending profession I know. Every day there is something to learn, something to change, something to be creative about, and some tools to add to your toolbox. Let's start by considering that when you become a parent, you are establishing a very special human relationship that leads you to commit yourself to love unconditionally and that conditions the rest of your life to become a learner, even if you believe you are the master. Think about it. It's very simple. When we commit to educate, to help other human beings to grow, we are actually committing to very difficult moments of the learning experience for both human beings. And every child, I believe, or I have witnessed in therapy, has the ability to push your buttons. This is why we are family. Yeah. Has the ability to know you because the children get to know you. This is all they do, observing you and learning from you. So they get to know where and when to push. Parenting isn't something that you are not going to do alone. No, you require a whole community. You require your family members, your friends. You require the priest. You require the psychologist, the social worker, even sometimes partner with the police. You require everything. So don't be shy. Never be shy about asking for help. What about a service that works 100% in the background, that you don't even know it exists, but you cannot live without? That's your reminders. What about if you connect your calendars like Google or Outlook calendar, you connect with your clients in a very simple, efficient way. They set up an appointment with you and you automatically send reminders 24 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 minutes before the appointment. Hey, your business will be thriving. So, if you want to learn more about G-Reminders, please go to our affiliate link for you to get just a discount just because you are so an amazing listener of the podcast Emotions in Harmony. So go to greminders.com/harmony and learn about this amazing tool. And tell me about it too. Okay, let's continue with our topic. The first and very important thing to consider is to self-evaluate yourself and think about the mistakes that you can make when you want to discipline your children. To be very honest, this is the very first thing to do. To be extremely honest with yourself and say, I think I could improve in that. And normally the eyes of your child tell you that. Normally you know when you overstep in the discipline, or you know when you neglect some aspects of the child. You know when you didn't provide what the child was expecting. You also know when you should have discipline more, or you should do that and that and that. So taking notes of that, literally, I'm telling you, taking notes of that, writing down and look for resources is going to make you a better parent. So I am going to mention some examples here about big mistakes of parenting. And if you think that I didn't mention some or something, feel free to send me an email. Feel free to say something. Let's say, not providing a good example. You are the model your child will follow. You are the first example that they will see. You cannot ask them to respect others or be patient if you are not doing so. Let's say the example of the soda and the milk. If you drink soda all the time, or beer, or wine, or whatever that the child shouldn't be drinking, and you verbally tell your child that they should be drinking milk, they will drink milk because you are serving the milk and you are providing the milk and you have the authority. So they will drink the milk. But when they are adults, guess what? They are going to run for the soda because this is what they saw. An example is the most difficult thing to fight on willpower. If I see that from my parents, I most likely will do it. So if you are concerning or complaining that your children don't clean their room, or don't wake up on time, or don't organize so and so, take a hard look of yourself. And this is the first thing we do in family therapy. Another big mistake that I see in family therapy with parents is that you may have hard time setting rules and limits, or setting them and then following them. It's different. You may be able or may have the skills to set rules and express yourself clearly. That's a good thing. But then you change them accordingly to your convenience. You say, no cell phone for the child, and then the child start crying, and after 3 minutes of crying or 3 minutes of crying, you say, okay, I'm going to give you the phone, and then we talk about later. Think about the limits you want to set before, because you need to be able to hold to them, to honor them. You may say, I don't want to punish the cell phone because I want my child walking from the school to home alone and I want them to have the phone, or whatever is your reason. But when you set limits or you create rules, be sure that you are the one that can follow them. And it's extremely important that you are clear with them. When, how long, and what happened that actually got you into that trouble. In addition, when you set good limits, you are helping your child to protect themselves from danger. And you will encourage them to become kind and thoughtful. Yeah? We don't want children that are tyrants or apathetic or passive. So it's important, extremely important, that you set rules and limits. Actually, your children rely on you for rules and limits. It's kind of the wall of the house. It's a protection. So it's okay to set rules and limits. And if you are concerned about how hard can be disciplined, look around for examples, look around for topics in psychology, everything that you need to educate yourself. Let's go with the other mistake, overprotecting. Sounds familiar. We all overprotect our children. We love them, yeah? We don't want them to struggle. We don't want them to suffer. We want them to have the best experience. But then sometimes we overdo. When you provide care to your children, but not to the extent of not allowing them to learn to solve their problems and assume their responsibilities. Overprotecting only prevents the child from developing the necessary skills to face the challenges that life will present to him, her, or they. Overprotecting is an act of love. Don't feel bad about it. We all do. But overprotecting continuously or forever, yeah, it really leaves your child vulnerable because it doesn't know how to navigate life. Another mistake, punishing and yelling. It is common to punish by yelling or in a way that is disproportionate to the child's behavior. Instead of carrying something from their lives, use methods to make children understand what they have done and they deserve consequences. Punish needs to be with kindness, with respect, and appropriate in time and circumstance. Punishment needs to be something that doesn't go against the dignity. We don't want to go and cut the dignity of the child. We want them to cut something that is for fun or something extra that is painful for them but actually is not a harm for them. And yelling definitely generates fear. Again, children need to be treated with love and respect. Okay, I agree. Sometimes you need to raise your voice because they just get into an argument with you. But raising your voice with disrespectful words is not going to help anybody. And raising your voice more than once or raising your voice always is only going to make them raise their tolerance to your voice too. So it's an escalating thing. Another big mistake that I see and I witness in couples therapy with parents is that they actually do not listen to their children. It is very common that when scolding the child, the voice or the father or mother is the loudest, and the possibility for the child to express his or her comments is blocked. It is essential to listen to the children and find out what they did, what is their opinion, what made them behave like in certain way or what they feel about it, what they believe about it. Listening is the key to establishing good communication based on trust. And I have an example here for you. I have once, like many years ago, I have a mother of a 4-year-old daughter. And the mother was extremely frustrated, thinking that the daughter was evil, like always behave bad, do something bad, and wants to do to make me feel angry, Carmen. It's really against me. So for a week, I asked the mother, what about if for this week you just put aside your thinking and be curious about your child? What about if you ask why you did that or that or that or that? And just listen to her. So during that week, the little girl went to the kitchen and poured all the water of a 5 gallon, or it was like 20 gallon. It was like 20 gallon water. It poured all over the kitchen, all the water. And the mom was so ready to put a big punishment. But then she asked, why you did that? And then the little girl brings a paper boat made by the father and say, my daddy did that for me and I wanted water to play with it. The mother just kind of smiled and, okay, asked the child to help her clean, the kitchen. This is what we want when it's punishment. You want to do consequences that teach them something new. So the child needed to learn to clean and to learn what is not okay to drop the water all over the kitchen. Another big mistake is that there are not clear agreements between parents. That's very common. Being parents of the same child doesn't mean having the same view as parent, and that's okay. But when you want to play the good cop or the bad cop, you need to be sure that those roles are fluid, that you interchange the roles. So it is okay not to have the same criteria when educating. Actually, you can complement each other, but you need to discuss and do whatever you can, whatever is in your power to agree in front of the child, because otherwise you will confuse your child. It is very okay to talk between the couple about how to act before giving different guidelines to make the child feel lost. And it's okay, unless the other parent is doing something really bad and is putting in danger the child, it is okay not to do something. Let the other parent to educate and then aside get a conversation and say, I didn't like the way you handled this. Can you handle it different the next time? Unless the father is or the mother is doing a physical punishment that you need to interrupt in the moment. Other than that, try to disagree in private. Another big mistake that I see in parents is forgetting what is to be a child. Mhm. Parents tend to forget that they were once children, especially that they were once teenagers. Remember, we cannot treat the children as adults. They are in the process of learning and they need to experiment and try. Enjoy every age in your children. Actually, you may not enjoy every age because what I notice is parents tend to prefer certain age. And you may say, Carmen, that's not true. I enjoy all the ages of my child. That's not true. Yeah. You may enjoy if your children being baby or a 4-year old, 5-year old, or a teenager, accordingly to your personality. That's okay. What is not okay is not to be curious and enjoy the other age. It's just help yourself to understand other ages that are not your favorite. Another mistake is using a lot of no. Don't go up there, don't jump, don't shout, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. That doesn't mean that you should not tell him or her or they what is the right and what is wrong. But please don't use a repetitive and simple no, especially if you are saying no without arguments to make your child understand. And especially if you are not explaining to the child why they should not do that. So try to explain in the language that is appropriate for the child and try to bring positive sentences. Instead of you saying, don't take that water, you say, come on, here, I have milk for you. Or instead of say, don't watch TV, you say, come here and do something. Let's do something together. I am with you in this one. Oh, I ran to saying, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Because it's easier, yeah? It is some work to come with some positive thing to do to distract the attention that you want or to direct the attention of the child to what you want the child to be doing. Another big mistake, encouraging consumerism. Children who are often given everything and at an early age, they do not develop tolerance. They do not develop creativity because they have been given everything, especially when it's particular toys or devices, iPhones or iPads or tablets or whatever devices you can give them as an early age. Preventing your children from striving and struggling to achieve things only creates lazy children with no vision to achieve goals. And something very important to remember, your children are your mirror, but they are not you. Do not ask them to do things that you can do or fulfill your expectations just because you didn't. It's important that you respect their individuality if you want to raise happy human beings. It's important to teach them to recognize what their heart asks them to be. Educate them towards the freedom of being, and you will feel satisfied with your work as a promoter of their life, as a supporter, as a cheerleader of their life. As you may already realize, being a parent is a work that needs a lot of creativity, love, patience, nurture. It's natural that suddenly you feel that you don't have the tools to help your children. Because you may not. That's true. But trust yourself. Trust that you can learn in the process. Be compassionate with yourself and say, I may not know today. I probably did all of these mistakes, but I am going to learn. Actually, if you listen all the way to here, this episode, I truly have faith on you because it means that you are seriously looking to educate yourself. Do not feel alone. You can always book therapy sessions, especially family therapy sessions. You know, we family therapists, we actually, when we have the whole family in the room, we can detect some things that you may not be able to detect. We can also detect patterns of behaviors that are blind to you because you are in them, you are living them as a family. So never be shy to contact in Emotions in Harmony or whatever therapist is in your community for family therapy. every step of the way you need help. Remember, you have a very, very beautiful work, the work of educating, raising another human being, and that's really a blessing. Okay, thank you for being here with me until this time of the episode. Please find us in YouTube with the channel Emotions in Harmony. Please subscribe, please say something there for us. And you always can send us an email with your beautiful comments. Thank you, and bye for now.
We have reached the end of another episode of the podcast Emotions in Harmony. See you the next week. Visit www.emotionsinharmony.org, where you can subscribe, find the notes, and be in direct contact with me. Thanks for listening.